I want to show you the student examples first. So let's go over the student examples. We can take a look at that, and then we can talk about what the expectations are for this project. There's actually two parts to this project. And the two parts to this project is that you are going to create or render a font that you're going to then convert to a digital font, create a font file that you can install on your workstation. And then the second part of this assignment is you're going to take this font that you constructed and you're going to design a poster. So it's a two-step process. The first step is to create your font face. I have provided a series of templates that you can print out, and then you draw on them, and then you use this QR code and the website to upload it. You take a picture of it, upload it onto the website, and it helps process the font that you've developed. Okay, so these are student examples from the last time that I taught the class, and you'll notice that the topic that we're dealing with is joy. And so however that manifested depends on the person, but that was the conceptual goal. And there's a video that is tied to this with Steven Sagmeister. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but he's a pretty well-known contemporary graphic designer and artist out of New York. And he talks a lot about how his work comes from this joyful point of view, joyful perspective. He's trying to tap into that aspect of his soul. And I think it's sort of a lovely idea. And I want this assignment to sort of use that as a foundation. So keep that in mind as you move forward and develop this work. I tend to be a very serious person. When I get philosophical, I look at the world and I look at life from this very serious point of view. I guess I'm very stoic, and I struggle with this concept of joy. And I think that's why it's so important to me to try to stop myself and re-pivot some of my attitudes and perspective to embrace that aspect of my soul. I guess because of that, I want to share this stop and pause and pivot on happiness and joy in an assignment in my curriculum. So like I said, I guess it's a little personal. I like to be very serious, or that's just who I am in nature. So look, what a beautiful font, right? Doesn't it express a joyful quality? It's really thin and narrow, so it would be somewhat difficult to read, but has a really beautiful, lovely quality to it. You'll notice that the grids have a character written up in the upper left corner of each cell, and that's the letter that you should be describing there. When you digitize this, it's going to basically put all of this together and put the right character in the right place for the keystrokes for you. So this is the capital grid. This is the second half of the alphabet. And then you start to get into some of the lower cases. You'll notice you did a really lovely job of being consistent and uniform. The I looks a little heavy, right? This looks like it was a mistake. So if you compare it to some of the others look very natural. Be careful getting too close to the edge because it might cut it off, right? But you'll notice that most of the characters were drawn with a really nice level of complexity. This works best if you use a marker. What I did is I used a dull or light pencil and then marked my letters, and then I went in with a marker over it. I like using micro pens a lot. I don't know if you guys can see them, micro pens. And you can buy these in different weights. I have a set that's like 10 different weights, and this is sort of what I recommend students when we do illustration or typography by hand, and we're going to digitize things. These are usually the pens that I advise my students to pick up. You can see that that was her set, and then this is the poster that came out of that. Okay, and there are certain expectations and rules to the poster, and we'll get to that later. But for now, what I really want you to do is to focus on just drawing your letters, drawing your characters. So when you look at this font face right here, does it remind you of a certain style of fonts? If you were to or a period of text or fonts. Beautiful font face, right? So this is the digital version. After she hit the keystroke, she took a screen grab, so you could see how all of her characters look. But here are her templates. Really lovely. She didn't tell me she was working in that direction, but She was successful because that's what she was shooting for. She didn't say this is an Art Deco font. She's like, here's my font. And I said, it looks very Art Deco. And she said, that's exactly what I wanted it to look like. So she was successful in communicating that style. Look at her poster. Isn't it beautiful? Ooh, it's gorgeous. Yeah, gorgeous, just gorgeous outcome. This one's more of a friendly hand script. Really beautiful. I can't write letters like this. I wish I could. And look at the poster. Isn't it lovely? Isn't it joyful? Don't you just smile when you look at it? I think it really does a great job capturing that sensibility. And then here's one that had a different perspective. I don't know if it really went for, I don't know how it captures joy, but, well, but maybe I'm just misunderstanding it. So you can see the letters have, this also has like that font that somebody sourced in one of the homework assignments, has a sort of a Japanese like calligraphy like quality to it. Beautiful block letters. I think the font is gorgeous. Like I want to use this font. That's how beautiful it is to me. And it's so well constructed and uniform. You'll notice that it's just really meticulous. And then this is what the poster looks like. Oh, this is Alexi. So Alexi really liked heavy and brutalist-like aesthetics. So it doesn't surprise me that he's the one that put this poster together. I didn't realize it was him. But pretty cool, right? So this is ultimately, this is the outcome, the outcome for part 2. But for this portion of the project, you're only going to be constructing the letters.